In 2016, you co-founded VideoVerse and you took a very, very early bet on AI. You jumped on it in 2016 when not a lot of people were thinking about it.
We were not having pre-trained models at that time. So we need to do all the hard works from ground. Editing content was not that easy at that time. So it was a lot of time consuming, a lot of humans were involved. So we thought like we can just, reduce the steps of what these people are doing.
This is the problem. How can I fix it?
It's all about how big the problem you were solving. So we identified the problems everywhere the problem was there.
Okay.
And AI was solving that. We were lucky enough. Investors were on the same page. They trust us, they believe us, all the team members, and the vision was very clear. If I'm opening my investment round, it will give me an opportunity to showcase my milestones in front of investors. So it keeps on showcasing your progress, that what you have done in last 6 months, last 3 months, last 1 year. And it's good. Like it's create a credibility in front of investors.
Today's guest is Saket Dandotia, a serial entrepreneur, third-time founder, and one of the sharpest minds in AI and software development. In 2012, he co-founded Linkites, an IT company that worked with the likes of Fox, Sony, Toyota, and Warner Brothers. In 2016, he took a bold move and moved into AI and co-founded a company called VideoVerse. VideoVerse now processes content for some of the world's biggest broadcasters. And that bet paid off big time. VideoVerse went on to raise tens of millions of dollars and became a multi-$100 million business. And then in 2023, Saket decided to exit VideoVerse and pursue a new opportunity, an opportunity in generative AI. It's not every day that we sit down with a tech veteran like Saket, somebody that has built, scaled, and exited a tech giant. So I had some questions that I really wanted to find some answers to, and he was the perfect person to invite to answer these questions. I wanted to understand, what does it really mean to be a forward thinker? Take bets early on that nobody else is taking, and understanding how a market can shift over a 5-10 year period to build true value and to be able to build companies that scale to billions of dollars in valuation. And lastly, I wanted to understand more about the AI agent space. We always hear about AI, but from someone that is building at the frontier of it, the insights are always going to be different. So I hope you enjoy this episode. It's packed with value, and it's definitely a very special episode. So, Saket, first of all, thank you so much for coming on. I know you're doing a quick trip to Dubai, and then going back. So I really appreciate you taking the time and coming on the podcast.
Thank you, Adham.
I wanted to start off with VideoVerse. So in 2016, you co-founded VideoVerse, and you took a very, very early bet on AI. And I think it's very interesting because it shows, an element of forward thinking. Now everyone is trying to get into AI. You jumped on it in 2016 when not a lot of people were thinking about it. So I want to know how you spotted that opportunity.
So yeah, absolutely. So we started from doing shoppable content when we started this company. So it's not about the sports. We started from shoppable content, matchmaking the product with video content using AI on cloud. So probably it's like more of a touching your video and getting some information out of a video and can buy. So it's a shoppable video content that we started with.
Okay.
And then we also experiment more with the trending technologies that keep on coming and tried a lot of use cases. But luckily by 2018, when the surge in OTT platforms comes and it completely reshaped the industry landscape, and we saw a drastic surge on OTT platforms where people are moving it and watching content live on OTT platforms. And there we understand that we can build some monetization using AI on top of it, where we can able to identify some objects and create some key moments.
Okay.
And that's how we started. But I think 2016, it was very early for us, and no infrastructure were available what is there right now. Like we were not having cloud GPUs, we were not having sampling pre-trained models at that time. So we need to do all the hard works from ground.
Okay.
Like we need to collect data, we need to classify data, because you will not be able to find a hygiene data at that time. So you need to make those data hygiene, classify it, train it using your own algorithms, or very few algorithms were available at that time for doing all this training purpose, and also lot of hard work from the ground. That time we have done it with less resources that was available, but we believe ourselves like we were having a complete vision clarity that we want to build a AI that can transform the industries. And luckily we enter into OTT, which completely transform, and we were the first one to enter into that industry.
And what gave you the conviction in AI?
So see, so at that time it was very early to uh, decide whether AI can transform it or not. But we were started looking after so much process driven human people were involved in doing all kinds of key moments, tagging, meta tagging.
Okay.
Content was editing content was not that easy at that time, so it was a lot of time consuming, a lot of humans were involved. So we thought like we can just reduce the steps of what these people are doing. But then slowly we got to know that we can completely replace human with AI. So that's what we did it. And it was not from day one. It's like it took a little bit time to completely transform the industry. But I think with time we learned so many things from our mistakes also. But we developed a AI which completely transform and completely replace the human now. So it's like you just upload your content or connect your S3 bucket directly, which is live streaming, and we can able to create a key moments without a human requirement. So it's like
Very interesting. So I want to reflect this to today's landscape. So just going back into the way you were thinking, did you start off with, I want to use AI and then try to find an application for it? Or did you start off with, this is the problem, how can I fix it?
yeah. So identifying problem was there. Obviously, we tried with couple of domains
Okay.
and we found problems in all the domains, and obviously the solution was AI. But it's all about how big the problem you were solving. So we identified the problems everywhere the problem was there,
Okay.
and AI was solving that. But then we found that sports live analysis is a bigger problem as compared to shoppable content
Okay.
or doing some other AI stuffs. So we enter into that. And luckily 2018, 2020, lot of sports were happening on OTT platforms. Live sports were happening
Mm-hmm.
around the globe. That's where our market was. Like we started reaching out to OTT platforms,
Mm-hmm.
broadcasters. We covered cricket matches, football,
Yep.
soccer, every like 38 plus sports internationally we started covering up. And we saw like we can able to help them monetize the content and can establish 58% more engagement on these key moments,
Yep.
where these people were not able to build up the engagement on top of it. They
Right.
are just streaming the live sports, that's it. And
Right.
people are not coming back and watching that for the entire 2 hours content.
Uh-huh.
So we started cutting down into pieces, making a short key moments for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Yep.
And then they started seeing that a lot of people are coming and just watching key moments.
Mm-hmm.
So they built up a 58 plus more engagement as compared to the long length videos that they were having.
Okay.
So that's how we also started understanding, they also started understanding, and they built up a smart revenue model on top of it,
Mm-hmm.
where they were struggling to find because they were just ads on the content. But
Right.
now because of engagement on these small clips, they can able to build up more. They can publish it on social media, they can have the
And
uh,
it's
you
in
know
real time as well.
it's a real time. So
Okay.
on the go we are just identifying all the objects, key moments, and publishing directly on social media.
So I have a
So
question. You know how sometimes in TV broadcasts, in sports specifically, something would happen and then they would immediately get the highlight? Is this an example use case?
yes.
That is
So
genius.
all the companies right now is using us for key moments and highlights.
Okay, all the major companies,
Yeah.
right? Amazing. Okay, so I want to move on from this and say that throughout your journey in VideoVerse, you've been able to raise tens of millions of dollars, and a lot of this capital came from like prominent investors, some of the best investors in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
So my question to you is like, what strategies did you employ to actually attract those high-profile investors?
I think a very smart strategy. It's like showcasing your passion towards what you're doing. Second is like how uh, what is the strength of the product that you're building up in front of investors. Like is that a real product which is solving the real problem, or is just a technology driven product? So that is the key role. And then third is clarity in your vision, what you want to build. And I think if you have these all three parameters and you reach out to investors, I think they would love to associate, because they also wants to come with the same vision what founder have and what their
Right.
thesis and fund suggest. So I think the clarity of vision and the passion of what you are doing it is very important. Third, I think we were very much lucky enough to attract these investors because of the technology shift, and we were the first one who adopt that shift.
Okay.
Because 2016, 17, 18, that was a time when most of the companies were trying for AI, and we were the first one for media and entertainment. So I think that technology shift also helps us to attract investors, because they were looking for some A, in sports and media entertainment industry. B, they were looking for a technology shift which is more focused on AI.
Okay.
So I think that helps us, and obviously the passion that we were having. So that's helps too.
Amazing. And then I'm just curious, like, for you, how do you choose the right investor? I mean, I'm assuming there were some points in time where you had multiple options and then you went with specific options. So I'm just curious, what's your thought process behind that?
To be very honest, we never said no to any investor.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yes. So whoever comes up, we entertain. But we were lucky enough to have such a strategic investors who believe on a vision, and we are on the same page always. So, like, they were following a journey. They believe on a passion, founders, team, product, and everything. And I think that's important. Like, if you have one investor who doesn't believe on your vision and they wanted to change you while you go, will not make us where we were. So, like, we were lucky enough, investors were on the same page.
Yep.
They trust us, they believe us, all the team members, and the vision was very clear. They were having the same vision we were also. So, like,
Awesome.
yeah.
So I looked at your some of the funding rounds that you've done with VideoVerse, and I found something that's very interesting. So you were raising around almost every year. So one in October 2021, another in April 2022, and then another in December 2023.
Yeah.
And all of these were pretty sizable rounds. So I want to understand your philosophy behind actively fundraising.
So philosophy is very, a deep strategy that we built up. So to remain in this whole startup ecosystem, you have to maintain the momentum of continuous raising the funds. Otherwise, you will be out of the picture. Second is, it's not just
Out
about
of the picture in terms of running out of money, or
not just running out of money. It's like more of a visibility that you gain from media and investors.
okay,
So if you're not there in that momentum, you will be losing the space of visibility
okay,
in front of media houses and also the investors.
understood.
And it's not just about the business growth that people used to seek investment, but it is also about uh, building up your credibility and showcasing your milestones that you have built up in the past. Like, if I'm opening my investment round, uh, it will give me an opportunity to showcase my milestones in front of investors and
Okay,
progress of the product, right? So it keeps on showcasing your progress, that what you have done in last 6 months, last 3 months, last 1 year. And it's good, like, it's create a credibility in front of investors.
right.
Also, I think investment is very important. Why? Because it strengthens the position of yours in the market. Second, it allows you to go and do some innovation. Like, whatever product you have, it's fine. Like, you are EBITDA positive, you are doing very good, you have captured market and all.
Right,
But on other side, you also have to have a investment R&D department,
right.
where that can only comes when you continuous raising funds, so that you can continuous do some innovation in the company, building some new products, or adopting the new technologies which is coming up. Like, you have seen AI is being now generative AI. So if the companies are not having that kind of fund, they cannot transform their process or what they have to the other, because that has to be a very separate thing.
Okay,
R&D department should always be there for every startup and every company,
right.
so that they keep on checking around next 3-4 years what is going to come, and then they can transform the technology part also.
Because also the product, like each product has a certain life cycle, and you
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to.
absolutely. Product has a certain life cycle, because of the change of the technology which is coming out so fast now.
Right.
Like, earlier it was like 5-6 years the technology remains into picture, but now every year we are changing a shift of the technology.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, I'm curious if you see any difference between the fundraising landscape pre-COVID and post-COVID.
Yeah. So pre-COVID was bit of okay for us, especially if I talk about VideoVerse. But post-COVID, amid COVID, we were lucky to have a lot of contracts signed because most of the sports were happening remotely,
Mm-hmm.
not physically.
Mm-hmm.
So people were sitting at home watching sports online
Right.
on the OTT platforms. And there we got an opportunity to build more growth strategy,
Yeah.
reaching out to more broadcasting companies,
Mm-hmm.
OTT companies, because they were just broadcasting and they were just having a revenue model of broadcasting. So we
Right.
just open another revenue model. So that gave us a growth. And then most of the investors were looking for such a company who has shown a growth during that COVID period
Right.
and adopted the digital transformation.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, we were a digital SaaS company, so that persona was changed. And then post COVID, investors were looking after profitable companies and the companies who can able to changed the gear from physical to digital.
Okay.
And that mandate of investment and thesis of investment, a lot of the investors have changed.
Okay.
They started doing investment more on digital companies where they can see there is a sustainable scalability down the line if
Mm-hmm.
something happens. Like, we don't know, pandemic can happen anytime. So
Right.
like, these investors also started seeing that companies who can survive during this pandemic can be a long term goal for us to
Uh-huh.
bet on. And then that's, I think, we have seen the shift. For us, it's like very helpful, and it's in a favor. Like, COVID has given us more opportunity to raise funds
Yeah.
because it has given us a growth.
Yeah, and
uh,
we can see that like from the funding rounds 2021,
yeah,
22,
yeah, yeah,
23.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. So another thing you mentioned that there are certain reasons you raise money, and one of them is to expand, another is to seek opportunities in new markets, etc. And I believe during your tenure at VideoVerse, you made two key acquisitions, and I believe you also raised some money in order to pursue certain
Yeah,
acquisitions.
yeah.
So I just want to know, like, how did you spot the opportunity for these
So
acquisitions?
they were vertically fit in a strategy. Like, they were also doing some kind of live sports e-gaming analysis part. So
Okay.
one of them is really, so they were doing e-game analysis and
Hmm.
all. So we thought like that's a vertical fit for us to get into the investment, similar to other company
So you
also.
didn't have the e-gaming aspect before,
No,
right?
we were not having.
Okay.
So, and they were doing good in terms of acquiring customers. They were having close to 100K active users at the time. So
Okay.
I think that helps us to get into that space.
Yeah.
And they were not having much in terms of technology play, but then because of our technology, we can able to integrate with their platforms and can able to serve what we were having for B2B
Right.
clients and other industries. We started offering for e-gaming also.
Love that. So the other thing is, what do you think of acquisitions as a form of consolidation?
See, acquisition will only help you out with two aspects. One is in your business or helping you in the technology.
Okay.
Why business? When you see some companies are doing very good in terms of acquiring users and they have a very good market cap and can help you to cross sell your product, what you have right now,
Uh-huh.
is a better uh, alliance for the acquisition. And
Okay.
second is more of a technology where you see your customers are seeking for a technology where you will be ending up spending 2 years down the line to build that technology, but someone already have that technology.
Hmm.
So you can build an alliance so that after merger, technology implementation will be there. Like, you can integrate the technology which other companies having and can serve as a cross sale for your user.
Okay.
So it's two way, like not just about for the business to business, but also for about technology as well. Because if you can see the thesis of M&A for big companies like Google, Meta,
Uh-huh.
Nvidia, these
Yep.
people are not focusing on the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
They want someone to come up with a technology so
Yep.
that they can build an offer to their clients.
Right.
Because no one is bigger than Meta and Google, right, in terms of customers. So
Yep.
they hardly care about 2 million, 3 million, or 10 million revenue.
Yep.
They want the technology. If you have that, we can able to, they have the clientele, they have the network.
This is very interesting because many times we see those acquisitions for a very high price tag.
Yeah.
But when you look at revenue, it's like the company's doing
Yeah,
500,000, a million a year.
absolutely. But that's a vision that these people are having. Like Google always see what the customer needs, and if they see this technology can help multiplying the revenue,
Yep.
they offer that valuation. Like OpenAI was acquired by Microsoft.
Yep.
They were at zero at that time, so revenue was not there.
Yeah.
But then they picked the technology part. They know that this LLM will go,
Mm-hmm.
and for Microsoft user, this cell can be a big play for them.
So you exited VideoVerse in 2023 at the upper end of a 9-figure valuation. And I think many people want to breed unicorns. When many people want to reach that $1 billion mark, it's super glorified. So my question to you is, why not wait until the company crossed the $1 billion mark?
Yeah, I think that's a dream for every founder to be a part of a unicorn company, and same with me also. But on other aspect, I love technology, and I can sense the transformation of the technology in the market. So market trend is also very important. And we were seeing like generative AI can become much, much, much more bigger as compared to what we were doing at that time. So just picking the right spot at the right time is important. Like I cannot move to generative AI after becoming a unicorn of VideoVerse,
Okay.
because that will lose the opportunity of entering into something which is very big.
Right.
So I think I have just found a bigger room, uh, which I think VideoVerse cannot go into that
Okay.
and cannot become that bigger.
Okay.
So always there is a TAM, and TAM is like a total addressable market for every product.
Mm-hmm.
So I just found a bigger TAM with the technology shift.
Uh-huh.
So, and back in 2021, I started thinking of, and I got a sense that OpenAI is working something which can be transforming every industries and all. And that's a very early pick, like how we picked AI in 2020,
Yeah.
2016. So that's what we picked in 2021. Like I can sense like, and we implemented generative AI in VideoVerse also.
Okay.
So VideoVerse were also doing
That was the post ChatGPT era or from before?
from the phone. So
Ah,
like,
okay.
yeah. So I'll tell you, there are three different AI components. One is NLP, which can understand the text and can convert it into a AI subjects. Second is a computer vision, which can see what is there inside the video content and can able to identify the objects.
Mm-hmm.
That we called it as a computer vision. Third is OCR. OCR is also like reading the text
Okay.
and understanding the text and um,
Extracting it.
extracting
Yeah.
the numbers and all.
Mm-hmm.
So all these three things we were doing in VideoVerse.
Okay.
Now generative AI came up in the picture, and it's like everything. All three mix in one single tech.
Yeah.
So you don't have to perform NLP, you don't have to perform computer vision, you don't have to perform, OCR.
Yeah.
You just give a content on LLM model, and they will give you everything what you want. You
Right.
just ask in your simple language.
Yeah.
So that's what we transformed in VideoVerse.
Uh-huh.
So it's a generative AI platform now. But I saw that just converting video and creating a key moments using generative AI is not justifying the technology which generative AI can do.
Yep.
And I think generative AI can do much, much bigger than this.
Okay.
So that time my thought process was, let's get into something bigger.
Okay.
And that's where we enter into OneTab, and I exited from VideoVerse.
Okay. So you had the idea of OneTab before you exited VideoVerse.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you didn't do it out of a move of like, I want retirement.
yeah.
It was a move of, I need to catch this new wave.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm a tech lover, so I cannot sit without tech. I
Okay.
cannot. So if no matter I earn double digit, 9 digit, whatever it is, like I have to be with the technology,
Okay.
and that's what my passion is all about. And yeah, this one tab is giving me an opportunity for that.
Lovely. So I think we should talk a bit more about OneTab right now. Just to give a bit of context, OneTab is the first platform to truly consolidate almost 9 to 10 tools used by software engineers on a daily basis into one single platform. And they are really the first AI agent in the software development lifecycle space. So I want to understand from you, what does true consolidation really mean in this AI agent era?
So consolidation here is like when you talk about AI agent itself is like for everything. Like you cannot segregate AI agent for specific work.
Okay.
AI agent is like complete business for you, who can understand your finance, you can understand your uh, admin, management, operations, everything. Then that's a use of AI agent. Like that's where you can tell that okay, my company is using AI agent for
So that's
my
like a
work.
general purpose agent.
General, yeah.
Okay.
Uh, so we thought like for software development life cycle, which covers a lot of different phases and tools, required one single AI agent, not AI agent for every single phases for software development life
Uh-huh.
cycle. Because then that's like you will be ending up using 7 to 8 different AI agents then.
Right.
And I think using 7 8 different AI agents is not making sense. Like it's again
It's more painful than just using the
more
tools
yeah, yeah.
themselves.
So AI agent is good when you are seeing that for your purpose from A to Z, it is covering everything.
Right.
Most of the companies who are into manufacturing, they are using AI, or logistic or fintech. They are working for data extraction, documentation, analysis, and all. For them, AI agent is one AI agent which can able to do this whole work.
Okay.
But when there are multiple phases involved, multiple departments involved, multiple different skill sets people were involved,
Mm-hmm.
then getting into one AI agent is only possible when you have all these people working on your platform.
Okay.
Otherwise, some of the people were working on different platform. Data is going there. Every communication is going on. Important logs are going on that platform.
Yeah.
You cannot able to pull all these information and build one AI agent and can ask AI agent to request for some task or inputs across the whole collaboration tools that
Right.
are there right now. So it is important to have all these on one platform. Let's have all the team members work on one universe. Then only you can able to know what other people are working. AI agent is a human kind of stuff only. But
Yeah.
if you not able to understand, because sometimes our project managers are very confused, they also have to know what developers are working, what designers are working, what quality assurance team are working, DevOps are going, and they do a lot of mistakes because it's
Right.
obviously a human mistakes.
Yep.
So to know everyone, they have to have a one single room where people are sitting and working,
Okay.
so that AI agent can able to ask, report, trigger, input, assign whatever they wanted to do it. So
Okay.
that's what important.
Very nice. So just I'll explain it to you the way I understood it and just let me know if I'm wrong. So from what I understood is that as a platform, you have to consolidate all of these different tools. So, for example, you have a communication tool
Yeah,
that's something like Slack.
yeah,
Then you have a project management tool,
right,
something like Trello or something like Jira. And your idea of consolidation is if I build an agent that connects with all of these externals or external applications, then it's not really true consolidation, right? Because
right,
at the end of the day, you still have to interact with 8, 9 different platforms.
right.
And also you have to pay the price of all of these different platforms.
Yeah, I mean these all comes up with a different subscriptions. First, second, obviously you need to spend time on these individual platforms.
Okay.
So you are not as productive as you can when you have all these team members working on one single platform.
Right.
Also not cost effective solution because you are ending up paying 7 to 8 different subscriptions for
Hmm.
your team members. Plus you will be ending up paying AI agent for these tools,
Right.
because every tools come up with a AI agent,
Yep.
and they have the top end pricing for using the AI agent. So you have to end up paying a lot of money using AI agent, plus using different tools, plus you are not that productive.
Uh-huh.
uh, so and then you are not efficient also. There are a lot of chances of having bugs.
Hmm.
So this resolves problem when you have all communication, project management, writing code, testing APIs, deploying and integrating the code on production servers, and post deployment data analysis happening on one single platform.
Okay. So from this conversation that I'm having, I feel as though you are more pro of general purpose agents than vertical AI agents, which are specialized in a certain
Yeah,
aspect of the
yeah, yeah,
business.
yeah. So vertical is like because they are just on one single domain, or you can say department.
Right.
So if I talk about software development lifecycle, there are different departments.
Right.
Vertical agents are just handling for that particular department.
Mhm.
They are not aware about other. However, there are APIs available to integrate different platforms with each of them, but you cannot send two-way communication. You can
Right.
just take a webhooks as an information,
Right.
but you cannot ask any post method to add any task or assign any task on Jira.
Mhm.
If you are just using Slack AI agent, so you are just beyond Slack.
Right.
You cannot trigger any events on other platforms.
Okay, so just to put that like simpler to the audience, it means you can only read data, but you can't write data onto the other
Absolutely right.
platform.
You
Okay.
cannot write. So it's
Right.
not two-way, it's
Yep.
just one
It's
way.
one way.
Yeah.
Okay. And to truly achieve the execution element, you need to also be able to write.
You have to, because
Yeah.
that's the way of using AI agent. Otherwise,
Right.
there is no sense.
So the other thing is, I want to understand your thought process behind dealing with competition. So as we said, you have a communication tool that is comparable to Slack. You have a project management tool comparable to Jira. Of course, so these are state of the art tools. You know,
Yeah.
these are the tools that are favored by almost everyone.
Right.
How do you view this from a competitive perspective? How do you get people to switch from those tools to your platform?
So see, technology shift is all obviously the main reason behind user persona, which has been changing now, and every 5 6 years we have seen that Microsoft has lost a lot of shares market cap when Slack was launched. So people were shifted from Microsoft One team using their whole 360-degree
Right,
suites that were available in Microsoft, but they shifted to Slack.
right.
They shifted to Jira. So this has been seen in the past also, where people just love the technology play, and they are okay to shift on these platform where they see there are some more advantage value proposition that they are getting it on these platforms.
Uh-huh.
uh, and I think generative AI will help us to build that persona for the users who are currently active on other platforms.
Uh-huh.
And when they see a value proposition, because there is a huge value proposition in terms of what we are offering, what other people are offering, they are just specific for what they are doing it, but we are a complete package for software development lifecycle. So I think that persona will build up, and when they understand that technology plays there and generative AI is helping them reducing the cost overall, helping them to write code faster and doing all the operation faster, I think that will help us out, shift the entire persona of the developers and
Very nice.
users.
So I'm curious, do you know about a tool called Cursor?
Yeah, I know, I know.
Yeah. Have you seen their product trend? I
Yeah.
mean, they literally took VS Code,
Mhm.
which is the Microsoft product, the standard,
Yeah.
almost replicated it, built an AI agent on top of it, and they are doing very well. I think they're at like 100 million ARR right now.
There are a lot of other companies like Bolt. Have you heard
Bolt as
about
well,
Bolt?
yes, yes.
So a lot of people are using, because now, like I mentioned, LLM is commoditized because a lot of already pre-modeled are available.
Mhm.
You just need to fine tune as per your usage and can build a use case very fast now. So it's not about hard work anymore. It's more about smart work. Things are available in the market. Bolt was launched in just 60 days.
Yeah,
Uh, there are a bunch of other products similar to Bolt has been launched, and people are just playing around with the LLM models that are there available.
yeah.
So there are open source foundational model available. You can just build your layer as per your use case and can launch anything. So from where we started in 2016, collecting the data, sampling the data, classifying the data, there is now people are not doing this.
So it takes
It's
less time and it's cheaper and it's more widely available.
absolutely, you are just seeing a limited industries who are adopting this, but down the line 1 2 years you will be seeing entire industries will be building up use cases on top of these LLM models, which is open source.
Okay.
Every single industry will be transforming and using these LLM models.
Okay. So my question here would be, how do you build proper defensibility if your core focus is Gen AI? As you said, if it's widely available, all you have to do is just build on top of
Yeah,
existing
yeah,
infrastructure.
yeah. So building a specified vertical agent that you have mentioned is easy. Like you have the database coming up. Like for Slack, building AI agent is very easy.
Okay.
For Jira, building an AI agent for project management is very easy because they already have the platform, right?
Right.
For Postman, Swagger, for API development, they can build an AI agent. Circle CI, Docker, they can build. So whatever, whoever player are there in the market for that specific purpose, they can build an AI agent in no time. So there is absolutely no requirement for doing a lot of research.
Right.
Open source are available. Build your application on top of foundation layer and launch the AI agent.
Okay.
But when you talk about unified AI agent, you have to have all these platforms first. So
Okay.
Slack cannot have a project management, writing code, deployment, API kind of stuff because they don't want to get into that. They are a communication platform only, and they wanted to be a communication platform only. Jira will only be a project management. They cannot be a communication or writing code or deployment or something like that. We are the one player who built up the tools first and then built up a AI agent using generative AI on top of it.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that building a AI agent is a nice big thing now. No, it is not because everything is available. You can build up, but data is important. AI agent will only respond to your data.
Okay.
But if you are having only one specific domain data, they will be just acting with that data. And we have a unified data
Right.
across the software development lifecycle.
Uh,
So we can push those data to a AI agent, and AI agent can then trigger the uh, you know inputs with all these respective departments.
Very interesting. So I want to ask you, like, where do you see OneTab in the next 3 years, based on not only the prediction of what's going to happen in the market and the shifts that are going to happen, but also what you're currently developing?
So next 3 years, we will be seeing ourselves as a key player in this whole domain, where we see our competitors like under the likes of Slack, Jira, and all. But I think OneTab will become a key player in this whole shift of technology and play a very important role in software development lifecycle.
Okay. And do you see, like, let's say again, 3 years from now, do you see tools like Cursor, where like their domain is very specific, or
Yeah,
tools like Bolt
yeah.
still having the traction that they're currently having? Or do you think the play is going to be more on the consolidation side of things, having a unified
See, Bolt,
view?
Bolt and Cursor, these people are developing a project from scratch. When you type something, they generate a code and then you can able to. But there are a lot of pieces which is still not connected there. For an example, 90% of our software industry right now is already being developed and they are doing a support and enhancements. Like I talk about uh, Emirates, they already have the software booking system. Everything is there,
Right.
so they will not go on Bolt, right?
They're not going to build from scratch, of
They
course.
will not
Yeah.
gonna build, and Bolt cannot understand the entire classes functions that has already been written
Yeah.
on the
It's
existing
like
code.
thousands or millions
Yeah.
of lines of code.
So similar to this, there are like 90% of the market right now, global market is
Okay.
already built up.
Okay.
So to understand the code and do the enhancement, Bolt cannot able to do it. Bolt can help you out with Scratch, building a simple apps. And I think that that is also a bigger market because most of the people are looking to, and they have a little bit less knowledge about the technology where they go in the market and ask for the development. They can just simply text and generate a code.
Right.
But still, infrastructure understanding, someone who doesn't have a technical knowledge, they have to have that in because Bolt will generate a code. You have to deploy that code also
Right.
somewhere and then buy a domain and all. So still there is a need. I think this whole technology plays very important role when you understand the existing code of these big companies which is already there,
Uh-huh.
and then you suggest something on top of it like optimizing the code, because like you currently you have like 10,000 line of codes. Can LLM understand the code and reduces it to like 4,000 line of codes? One thing is that. Second, optimizing the cloud infrastructure.
Okay.
If I'm already using AWS, GCP, Azure, can LLM generative AI help me to understand what is there currently? If I'm paying $100, can that reduce me to $40?
Uh-huh.
So this is where I see a bigger play. Bolt is okay, like we also have that model,
Okay.
writing code, but
Right.
we are not just focusing on building a website from scratch. That is everywhere. We are focusing on understanding the code which already people
The
have
entire life cycle.
entire life
End to
cycle.
end.
Like for an example, you are a tech lead for Emirates and you have a big product and big team already there, but you wanted to see how your code is functional, whether it's written properly or not, what tech stack is there. So you can just connect your code with our platform, and we do a audit of the entire source code, and
Okay.
we come with a suggestion, like these are the functions which is sitting idle without a use. So you can comment out, make a less line of code which can be faster,
Yep.
and then optimize a cloud server also. So that is something which we are trying to understand, and we are building up a layer which is not pre-modeled right now. So we are just working on getting it understand and building up as per a use case. And we
Okay.
are using open source LLM models right now.
Very nice. And you're also fine tuning your.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a continuous effort that you need to put it. Like none of the models are fine tuned as per your requirement. They will do it 70% of your work, but then for 30% is something which your team has to build and do a fine tuning. So knowledge graph is very important here. Knowledge graph is to understand what exactly your LLM model will trigger based on the input prompts, you
Okay.
know. So if you're asking something, that's an input prompt going on,
Yep.
and it generates a knowledge graph based on your understanding. And second thing, LLM is a very big database.
Yep.
So when you are sending some requests, it is just going and looking after all these database. So you need to shorten that path to
Okay.
avoid GPU's cost,
Right.
right? So if you are searching for one single thing, still it is going and checking around your database, which is consuming a lot of GPUs.
Yeah.
So you need to create a knowledge graph first and then send it across so that it pull the request faster
Uh-huh.
without getting much into the database, but rather than picking the right relevant inputs which you are triggering.
This is so interesting because even Sam Altman went out and said, we're losing money on the $200 a month subscription.
Yeah,
It seems like they're bleeding money, not
yeah,
just losing money.
absolutely. I mean, and this will keep on growing because these are decentralized way of training. Like if you are using OpenAI and you are connecting your database, all these models training is
Happening
eventually
on their
going
servers.
going to their server. So it is becoming bigger day by day. It's like you are seeing whatever it is right now in by the time of end of this year, you will be seeing that this is doubling down what is
Yeah.
there right now, because now people are started using these platforms, and now these people are connecting their database.
Yeah.
If these data are going, because this is a decentralized way of training data and abstracting and analyzing
Uh-huh.
things. OpenAI is decentralized. You cannot host OpenAI on your server.
Yeah.
So all the data, queries, everything is going on OpenAI.
Very curious. I mean, just talking about OpenAI, what do you think of the shift that happened after what DeepSeek did?
DeepSeek still has utilized Meta Llama 3.2 open source.
Oh,
So yeah, so they have not built up any foundational model. They picked the foundational model and built a layer on top of it. So that's a smart work that I'm talking about. Like this is not a time to do hard work now. No one will. Like it will take years to build it and a lot of money is
this is
required.
so interesting. So they did not train a model from
No, no, no,
scratch. They
no.
used
Yeah, they use
llamas.
Meta. Yeah,
Wow.
they use Meta.
And
They
they
use combination of Meta also and OpenAI also, but foundational model they built up. Foundational they used, application layers they have built up
and it's comparable to
compared to OpenAI, and
which.
I think in most of the cases they are better than OpenAI.
So you think the race in building that infrastructure layer is a race to the
That's
ground?
what we need to like. Architecture is still Meta because they have not built the architecture,
Right.
but they worked smarter
Mm.
in doing the application layer, and that's what I'm saying. Like now this technology will be commoditized. People are not going to spend money and hours on building up the architecture. They will be picking up everything that is available
Yeah.
open source, and then they will be building applications.
It's interesting because there's been like a race right now, especially with the deep search.
Yeah.
There's a race between OpenAI and Perplexity.
Huh.
So OpenAI releases deep search. Sam Altman says this is the best search product in the market.
Yeah.
And then the CEO of Perplexity comes out and says, well, we built the fastest, best search product in the market. And then he came out also and said, the CEO of Perplexity, he says that wrapper applications, right, which basically just use the existing
Yeah. Yeah.
infrastructure,
Yeah.
will always create more value than the infrastructure
Obviously.
layer companies.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously.
Because the cost of the LLMs is exponentially decreasing, while the value that those wrappers are providing is exponentially increasing.
Absolutely. So they are already on peak. So LLM costing is already on peak. Valuation is already on peak. Now the companies who are building up a valuation are those who are using open source and building up their applications.
Right.
So that's where the market is going on now.
Yeah.
So people are coming up with new use cases, business models, utilizing these open source LLM models, fine tuning it, creating an application layer, and raising funds. And they are becoming unicorns now.
Very nice. Okay. I think with that, we end the episode. Very, very interesting discussions. So I hope a lot of people find value in that. And yeah, thank you so much for your time, Saket. It was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Thanks. My pleasure.